current research interests include knowledge representation, reasoning, and coupling of hybrid systems. Please try to explain this to people like me who are not scientists.
What's knowledge representation? Just a way of describing the world. Currently, if you want a computer doing something useful, the only way is explain line by line what the computer should do. This is called coding, basically. Maybe you are familiar with Google Maps, in which you can plan a route. Behind this Google map, some computer programmer just encoded a very specific algorithm instructing the computer to find the best paths. What would be very nice just to tell a machine, find the shortest route without having to code the algorithms. So we have a not general way of talking with a computer like we talk each other and expressing very high level instructions. So knowledge representation deals with this and with other stuff.
Is it correct to say that what you're doing is trying to explain the physical world to a computer?
Yes, yeah, it's true. That's a good way of interpreting this. Not just the physical world, because humans, besides the physical world, we also deal with abstractions of the real world. We have law, we have economics. Put all this knowledge in a computer in a quick way is not so easy.
Can I say that your major goal, your kind of final goal, is to actually create a general artificial intelligence, no?
This is very strongly debated in the artificial intelligence communities. There are two stands, the so-called weak AI and the strong AI. So weak AI would be just a machine that could, roughly speaking, a machine that could just repeat human jobs. Strong AI would be something like having an artificial brain capable of very same skills of a human in the broader sense. Especially, humans are very good at taking a never-seen task and learning to do the task very quickly. Computers cannot do this now. So I cannot take a computer very skilled at chess and say, okay, now play Go. It doesn't work like this.
Can we say that it's just a matter of time? I mean, it will just take some time for you scientists to add
everybody
in the computer about the abstract and physical world, kind of to enrich the database, the knowledge base of a computer, so that, wow, now a computer knows everything about us, about our world. And that's general artificial.
So this is a very frequent question. I must say that also between the scientific community, it's very big debate. We are divided on this because we have scientists that claim that we will never achieve this. Somebody says it will take 30 years. So having a strong AI machine, you mean? And some very optimistic guy, I don't know if optimistic, because having a strong AI all around the humans, I'm not sure if it's okay, because they could take over the world in the end, like in a lot of movies like Terminators or other situations like the context of Blade Runner, etc. That's okay. We have.
Do you see it possible?
We will have. I will say it is possible, but I'm not sure if humanity will see this. Because also with weak AI, humans could invent something very dangerous, not necessarily intelligent, that could destroy humanity. Think at just a flying drone, which just looks for bodies which have the temperature around 37 Celsius. And they look for this body just to kill them. Then add to this flying drone capability of finding a charging station, and that will put humanity in trouble, which is not really strong AI, a weak AI application with stupid drones that could be stupid but very dangerous. That could be a problem very soon, especially because there is research on military application of AI, which we should be a bit worried about, I would say. That doesn't mean that AI is not useful for humanity, because it's plenty of other applications of artificial intelligence aids, say for old people, for people in general, which are making our life better.
But what about
Yes.
computer games? Tell me, why in the first place did you decide to do the research in computer games field?
Okay, this is the question I was waiting for. Take my daughter. My daughter asks me, what do you do for a living, since she was 4 years old, maybe. And I couldn't explain all this stuff for knowledge representation, while video games are a very nice example, because you have something that you can see, you can somehow appreciate. So in video games, actually, what we are currently investigating is on artificial players. There is the need of having a nice artificial player. So you don't feel engaged in a game if your artificial opponent is not credible enough. It's not necessary that it's a strong AI or a human. You feel like the artificial opponent has a good feeling of humanity. That was the first answer. The second is that it's quite exciting. So we started, for instance, with we participate each year in a competition for artificial players, which actually is the Angry Birds. You shoot the birds at the pigs, okay? And there is a kind of tournament for artificial player in which the birds are shot not by humans, but by artificial players. So we participated in this. And that was rewarding for me, because very first time I could tell Aurora, my daughter, okay, look, this is what I do. I shoot birds.
I shoot birds and pigs.
I program machines for shooting the pigs with the birds. And then we continued in this, because we discovered that it's challenging, it's rewarding from the achievements point of view. And also there is some market in this, because as I said, in the computer game industry, they want technology for programming the artificial players.
But why? Why do we need artificial players? We have so many people willing to play the games. Why do we need computers?
Well, yeah, okay, there are games in which, say, in Fortnite, maybe you heard of Fortnite. It's okay, because you go in the Fortnite world, it's plenty of human opponents. That's okay. But in other video game types, it's just you and the machine. You have an adventure plot with no other interactions besides the machine. And when you meet the characters in this type of games, the characters require to show some intelligence. Currently, if you want to play a very nice video game, you will need to buy a console, a PS4 or Xbox or whatever. This model is starting to change. There is an incoming revolution in this, because Google recently released this Stadia platform. This platform works much more like Netflix, so you don't need to buy an hardware. You could play on your TV just with a Chromecast like this, because all the computational resources are not in the console, are on the Google servers. And I must say that this idea works. It's very good, and it makes the gap between games and streaming much shorter. There will be time in which maybe you will find on the very same platform the possibility of accessing a game or accessing streamed content.
Would you personally choose to make a video game with a highly advanced AI that is unpredictable, that learns from your actions?
Despite there is no interest currently in the industry, at some point we will go in that direction. And I guess that in a game like Fortnite, it will be difficult to tell whether a guy is a human or a bot.
It has been several years when the computer won a human in a tactical game. I think it can be called a tactical game. Go, I'm sure you heard of it.
It's a board game.
Board game.
It's turn-based, and it's classified as a full information game. Full information means that you don't have hidden cards, or so you know everything of the game. Only thing you don't know is what the opponent has in mind. It was also remarkable because it looks like the computer invented new strategies that no humans did know. So at some point they could see this computer playing strange moves that humans could not even comment because, okay, this is very stupid. What's it doing? But actually, it ended up that these new strategies would pay off in the game.
In this particular case, can we say that this intelligence that played that game was on its own, like independently thinking, because humans did not code strategy into the algorithm?
Yes and no, because then if you go and study in detail how this machine works, then you realize it's just a machine. The machine is very cleverly designed, the machine, but it's still, everything is mechanic. So you could reproduce the step by step. So in the end, you could check why the machine did make a particular move, and so you will find that it's just, I would say, mechanical choice. Very clever, but it's mechanical in the end.
But do you say so because based on the fact that this algorithm has a limited amount of information in it, a limited amount of notions, categories inside? I mean, there is a set of knowledge. But turning back to your expertise of teaching computers about the world, physical and abstract world, so the more this computer, imagine this algorithm would know more about the world, about playing games, about humans and their logic, it would be closer to this artificial general intelligence, no? I mean, you just give them more information and they are more spontaneous, right? We cannot say that, oh, that's mechanical anymore.
That's a very tricky question, because it's the very big question now. It's what's intelligence? What's the definition of intelligence? Maybe we are also mechanical and we are not aware of this. Who knows? So it's very difficult. So we're quite close to the metaphysical level now. In the end, the bigger difference is that we define ourselves having free will, so that there is something in our heads or in our soul, depending on your religion, that allow us to decide autonomously. There is also biological research on free will, whether actually there is something that spontaneously takes decisions. The thing is that in machine looks like free will is not present, because actually you know how the machine works. And we end up in what I was considering before. So yes, maybe you can take a machine, feed with all the knowledge. You train the machine so that she has some goal. One important thing, in Go, the computer has been trained with a goal. So actually the human will say, your goal is to win the game. And then the machine would train continuously in order to better reach the goal. So such ideal machine which you would feed with all the information that you could get into, then would it something to optimize. So, and then we end up in the previous consideration, because the goal could be just kill all humans.
But does this intelligence come up with this goal to kill all humans by itself?
Or keep all humans alive? That would be another goal.
But there are principles of robots, for example, yes, written many years ago.
The Asimov,
hurt a human.
Yeah? The Asimov laws, yes.
Asimov, yes.
Yeah. In my opinion, almost all the Asimov laws apply also to humans. So I would be a very nice human if I would apply this to other humans, because actually they state that you will not harm another human. And actually there is something which is much stronger, because in the Asimov laws, a robot could sacrifice himself in order not to harm a human. So it puts robots on a lower ethical importance with respect to a human. So,
coming back to the drones that could be harmful to people, I now imagine two sides of robotics. One section of robots who are following Asimov's rules and protect humanity, and there are bad robots, bad drones who try to harm people. So I now imagine like light side and dark side, like in this
that's a very nice idea. Can I use it for my next blog post?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because
yeah, that's interesting. Yes, you could have a kind of an army which is on purpose or by mistake killing all the hot bodies as a goal, and a second army which is trained for killing the first army. That could be a strange future that it's interesting somehow. Yes.
when we imagine this kind of bad artificial intelligence, it's important to remember that we are now creating it. I heard several years ago that there was a union of AI professionals globally who agreed, who even signed some documents with obligations not to develop military AI that would potentially destroy humanity.
I signed this document and several others actually.
Wow!
So,
tell me more about this.
Oh, well, okay. So one of the European initiative is called CLARE, which is kind of a network of artificial intelligence laboratories. And one of the documents that CLARE produced was an early statement against unethical AI. Many people, many scientists signed this, so it's clearly an important choice to make. I hope that humanity is ready for taking this. So imagine a world in which we have this technological level right before World War II. I'm not sure if then decision makers and politicians would just agree with a document signed by scientists. Getting back to ethics, we have several paradoxes. Say you are in a Google car, there is just one passenger in it, and the car understands that the way is continuing will kill 5 people outside the car. But if you react, you will kill your passenger. The dilemma is here, sparing 5 lives or 1 life. Maybe the answer is 5, so save the 5 people. Then you end up with a lot of questions about would you stay in a Google car which is ready to sacrifice you because of an external environment? What if the 5 people were in that place at that right moment because they did on purpose, they want to get a suicide, etc., and then you end up dead, and so on. So it's plenty of ethical questions. Actually, many colleagues of me, they now started to be more ethical philosophers than computer scientists, because all of this must be automated. So a Google car must make automated ethical choices also. And so this has big connections with ethics, philosophy, and so on.
But do you involve real philosophers into this into programming AI?
Yes, there are some philosophers involved, and this is another connection with knowledge representation, because you must also represent rule of ethics. So there is a particular. So actually, usually knowledge representation is heavily based on logic. So we represent knowledge as logical statements, like don't kill people unless, and then you will put also exceptions to the general rule. All of this will need some kind of ethical knowledge representation.
But do you know what they're actually teaching their cars now about this issue, like who to kill, who to keep alive? Do you know what they?
Okay, as far as I know, currently there is no real implementation of this. It's plenty of people which started to address the problem, looking and investigating how far we should go with this ethical programming in cars.
What about bias in AI? Bias that developers code into the AI systems?
Well, that's a very tough question. When programmed, the AIs may turn out to be biased. They are, actually. They are strongly biased because they just obey what they are programmed for. It's just restricted to the number of knowledge statements that you have fed the machine.
So can we say that machines and algorithms, they resemble kids, and we are like parents teaching them about what is good and what is bad?
It's true, with a very important difference. You touched a very interesting point. It's if you take a human kid, okay, and the kid will ask you, what's an elephant? You just show to the kid the 2-3 elephants, and from that point on, the kid will know what an elephant is. It's very easy to teach a kid. Teaching a machine is complicated. So currently, if you want to teach a machine to recognize the picture of an elephant, you will have to show thousands and thousands of pictures of an elephant. That's because the machine works like this. Before teaching how to distinguish an elephant in a picture, it needs a lot of work. This is one of the current limitations. It's not, people are investigating this. So why humans are so quick in learning new concepts?
But isn't it astonishing and amazing to see how human brain is superior to computers, even the most sophisticated ones?
It is. I'm happy with this.
But
I work on AI, but my hope is that I don't live enough to see some form of strong AI appearing in the world. I don't want to.
You don't want?
I don't want to live enough to see this, because it will be a revolution that I'm not sure if I want to see it.
Why?
But there are other forthcoming revolutions. Who knows what will happen first? Because maybe we will achieve the possibility of making life much longer. Maybe we can become almost immortal very soon. This will be a very strong change in the world. A very big revolution, and it could happen before strong. We, the AI experts, we call this the singularity. So the singularity will be the very right moment in which there is a strong AI that can replace humans in everything. But maybe the singularity will happen after some biologist finds the way to immortality. Who knows?
And so it means that there will be humans who are immortal, and there will be AI which is equal to humans in the cognitive capabilities.
Yeah. Or a meteorite hits the planet before of this.
Well,
who knows?
let's hope it won't happen. At least not
Let's
soon.
hope not.
I have hot seat questions. They are short questions, and you can answer also briefly if you want. Would you agree to implant a computer chip in your brain?
It depends on the features.
Something enhancing your capabilities.
For instance, something that reminds me stuff because I have a very bad short-term memory. That will be useful. Yes. Something that can control my free will? No, of course.
And my last question is about humans. Give me 3 top...
I'm not so expert with humans. I'm better with machines.
But you're a person, and we all have this. I think we all have answers to these kind of questions. So what's a top 3 qualities that you value most in people?
That's good. Honesty, creativity. Creativity is right like the property that a machine do not have. So possibility of solving problem with side thinking. This is what I appreciate more. And also creativity in the artistical sense. This is what I appreciate more in people. And the third, I'm very tough with people betraying me, and I take it seriously. If somebody is not correct with me, it's very difficult that I forget.
So we can say that the third
And-
quality is loyalty.
Sorry? Loyalty, yes.
Loyalty. Honesty,
Yes.
creativity, and loyalty.